Hi guys, so this is the nail design we're going to be working on today. This is a watercolor inspired design for spring. So you're going to need a few things. First thing you're going to need is your base and top coat. Today I am using DIY or Die Hard nails. Clearly Natural, which is just a clear gel polish with a slight pink tint to it. And then you're also going to need a white polish. And that's just so that the colors will show up more vibrantly on your fingernails. The next thing you're going to need is some permanent markers. I'm using Sharpie brand. These are the colors that I used today. So I used a purple, a blue, and then I was originally going to use this pink, but it ended up being too diluted with the alcohol. So I did go in and touch up with this just to give it a little bit of a brighter color. The next item that I used was liquid latex. This is just a protective barrier You may also want to use a toothpick or orange wood stick just to clean up around the edges if you need to. I also have a spray bottle with 91% alcohol. You may also want to use a small cup to spray the alcohol into, and then you will also need a synthetic detail brush for the areas that you need to go in and touch up manually. You also need paper towels for cleanup, and your LED or UV lamp because we are working with gel polishes today. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Okay, start with your base coat. You want to do thin even layers, making sure to cap the end of the nail. Once that's cured for this design, we're going to be doing white, clearly natural, and white. We're going to end up doing French tips on these two, but I want to put a base of clearly natural first. So go ahead and start with that. Go ahead and do that until you build up the color to where you like it. Now if you wanted to use a stencil, you can. You would just need to remove the tacky layer from the clear before placing your stencil. Go ahead and make sure that you cure each layer of color. Once that's cured, go ahead and remove the tacky layer with rubbing alcohol. So for this next step, I would recommend using liquid latex. If you don't have that, you can always use masking tape or something along those lines, or just clean up at the end with acetone, alcohol, or fingernail polish remover. So you're going to go right around the white areas of your nails, and you want to go ahead and cover up your cuticle right. There might be a little bit of bleeding, and you're just trying to save yourself some cleanup at this point. So just make sure you don't get it on the white, but as close to it as possible. And that includes around your ring finger and your middle finger. If you do get some latex on the white part, just go ahead and push that back with a toothpick. You're going to need your choice of permanent markers. I'm using Sharpie brand, and I'm using these pastels in purple, blue, and pink. And you're also going to need a spray bottle with alcohol. The higher the alcohol content, the better. So I'm using 91%. You can pick that up at any drugstore. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our markers, and we're literally just going to go on the white and kind of scribble in a random design. There can still be white showing. When the alcohol gets sprayed on it, it disperses the ink, so it's going to fill in some of those spots for you. The more that you spray, the more dispersed it gets. And you can always go in and build up the color as needed. So you should have something that looks like that. Now you're just going to take your spray. Now the closer you are, the more condensed the spray is going to be. The further away, the more of a mist it's going to be. So I'm going to start a little bit further away, maybe about 10 inches or so, and I'm just going to go ahead and spray all of the nails. And you can see it's starting to kind of make them spread out. Now you should end up with something that looks like this. Of course, you can go in and touch up with different colors if you want. Just remember, each time you spray it, it's going to disperse everything else too. So once you're happy with the nail, make sure you pull that one out. Your other option is to go in with a paintbrush a synthetic paintbrush with alcohol on it and just touch on the parts that you want to disperse. And this just gives you a little more control over your design. Once your top coat's cured, go ahead and remove the tacky layer with rubbing alcohol.